Happy to happy to be here. What up, guys?
What up? What up?
You guys want to weigh in on this? We're for bringing Sharp back, and Pete. Last year, this offseason, this past offseason, Claxton seemed to have some value. There were other teams interested in him. We had to give him a lot of money to keep him. Detroit offered him a big contract. Has he played himself out of all of that value, or do you think he's still a tradable piece in the offseason? Or do you think it's just like a salary dump, anything to get him off the roster?
No, I think he's played well of like the last. If you look at what the last like 15 games or something, I think his value has gone up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not watching every single game, looking at every single box score, but I think we could say that he's played at least a little bit better. I don't think there's ever been no value for him because he is young, and there's always going to be a team that could be like, man, this guy could defend on the inside, on the outside, and he played with KD a couple years ago, and he played really well. Maybe we get someone that could be like help him on defense, and we can get that like extract that little talent out of him. I don't know. I think when teams see some talent in a player, there's always a voice in the back of the head. You know what? I can get him back to that defensive player of the year type of energy. And I don't know what his value is right now, but I wouldn't say that it's a pure giveaway. It wouldn't be a salary dump. I think there'd be something, but I'm not sure exactly how much.
I'll take Rui Hachimura's contract, which is a little bit less, about 5-6 million less, and we'll call it a day.
Hell, I'd do Jalen Wilson and Claxton for Knet and Rui Hachimura plus a first.
That's interesting.
I need a first. I think I need a first back.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I would need one first.
Contract. If they're telling me I'm going to take his contract, that's addition by subtraction. Just get him off my roster. Just get him out of here. I don't want to pay him anymore. He's not like that contract's egregious. If someone else wants to touch it, I will take on a 1-year expiring deal, no matter how bad it is. Like I feel like it's almost like it's not Ben Simmons to me, but honestly, to me, he's so bad. It's approaching that. It's like I don't care what you give me. You want to take his contract? He's yours.
You got to keep in mind the salary cap is going up every year, so the percentage of what his contract makes of the cap is going down, making that contract look a little better and better each year. And I think it is still descending.
right. That's a good thing Pete just said. So his money does go down this summer a bit. So it actually makes him more tradable this summer. Good point, Pete.
Then trade him then. Then like you guys also have to remember his production and play gets worse every single year too. So factor that in. He was a much better player 2 years ago. Like Breezy, I want to get you in on this Nick Claxton. What value does he have, and do you think he's tradable? And would you trade him in the offseason if you could?
I think he got tremendous value dependent contention on the, your negotiating skills. You could easily sell somebody like Clax at the trade. You know what I'm saying? If you trade him, you could say, "Yo, I got somebody that could play 1 through 5. He could guard the perimeter. They could pull up highlights of him guarding perimeter players where instead of taking a shot, they passed it off because they didn't want to take the last shot on Claxton. You know what I'm saying? You could pull up different scenarios. Like I say, he's, been a player that could fit in with any teammate. He had 4 teammates switch. You can really sell Claxton, quote unquote, as far as a player and say he could fit in your rotation, fit in your lineup with any lineup that you got. If Sean Marks knows how to negotiate, like really knows how to talking rice and beans, he like, listen, I'm talking rice and beans and gravy. If he really talking that talk, he can definitely sell Claxton. We could definitely get back a first-round pick. I'm not saying it got to be a lottery pick, but we definitely could get 1 first-round pick. We definitely could put him in a trade situation. Am I saying that I would trade Claxton? I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It depends. And I don't think it's going to be a 1-for-1 player. I just don't see it that way. I think it'd probably be a package deal. Maybe him and another player. I think we got a lot of that. Maybe him and Tyrese Martin, or maybe him or you know what I'm saying? Somebody on a bitch that's, you know what I mean, looking to get more time. You got players like, for what it's worth, Quentin Grimes making that case. Quentin Grimes was drafted that same year where it's not a lot to expect from them, but there's a lot of upside.
Let me stop you there because I want to respond. Yeah. Quentin Grimes is a good NBA player. He's a good player. Right. How good is he? That's debatable, but he's good. Just having because the salary cap space that we do have next year is kind of a mirage. Like it's going to disappear quicker than you can shake a stick at it, right? Like it's going to disappear. is having Nick Claxton on the books going to prevent us from getting guys like Quentin Grimes who can help us?
That bro, look, Gary, I'm gonna say it like this. It's too much competition for us to just be set in stone with Claxton right now. He got Sorba, he got a bunch of other centers that the Brooklyn Nets could draft. I don't think he got that spot. It's his spot. It's his spot for him to protect, but not for his it can happen. He could be in a trade package contingent on what happens. So yeah, it could happen. I agree with you. The trade is more likely than not because of Clowney. If we didn't have Clowney, I would say no. But if we got Clowney, changes Claxton's value to this team because we can make Clowney a stretch 4 and we can't make Claxton a stretch 4.
Right. Good point.
All right, John, I want to move on. I got the 2 videos. I got the Nets Kingdom video and the which one do you want me to play first? Which one do you want to get
let's play the Windhorst one first, and then we'll go into this Kingdom one because we're gonna show Sean Marks' list. Yeah, you guys are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be fun.
Both of them cook Sean Marks, basically.
Yeah.
Good.
Hang on.
Deserving.
It's gonna be fun.
Hang on. Let me start over again. There you go.
There we go.
Seems that way.
I mean, I tell you, and
Wait,
blame
hang
Brooklyn
on.
for that. The trade the Rockets made with Brooklyn last summer has not aged well for the Nets.
That's way too strong to say.
Brother, it's way too strong. Are you serious? They have 3 of the Suns. This year's a swap. Oh, I see why you say it, because you got a Nets executive looking over your shoulder. Hey, we're talking about how bad that trade was last year.
That is not that is not correct on any level. I'd have Aaron come over here and say something if he wanted to.
But no, dude, they got back 25 and 26 control, and they gave them this 25, 27, 29. The Mavs 29, which the value of that has gone up massively for obvious reasons.
Sure.
And the Rockets held on to the Nets 27 swap.
And if the Nets win the lottery and get Cooper Flag, it's worth all those picks and then some.
All right. I think both guys make a good point. I would say if you get 1 or 2, if you get Cooper or Dillon, he's got a point. The trade's worth it. But the other guy makes a point too. It's like, look at what you've given up. Like the Mavericks pick is going to be a lottery pick. It might be the number 1 pick in the draft in 2029, right?
See, Gary, I disagree though.
Bro, Gary, he couldn't have seen that. Come on, man.
Hold on. I disagree with one portion of what you said, Gary, and that's if you land Flag or Harper, it's a win. I don't think so. I think the entire point of the reason you got your 2 picks back is because you were trying to do what Boston did with our picks previously. You need to draft 2 picks within the top 5 to potentially have 2 superstar players to build around at an affordable cost for the next 7 years. That's got to be the long-term picture. And the fact that they hadn't taken it seriously the first year shows me that this organization is poorly run, which I've been saying for the last 6 years. But it's never going to change.
I gotta disagree, man. I don't want to, but I got to, man. I won't defend.
Let Dillon land the plane, and then I'll let you rebuttal him.
No, I'm just saying a 2-year rebuild makes the most sense. It doesn't matter who you add to this roster. You could add Giannis this offseason and draft in the top 5 this year, and you are still going to never make it past Boston or Cleveland. There's no point of wasting all of your assets, exerting all of your potential opportunities to rush a process that you're not going to succeed at. There's no point. Build youth, land 2 top 5 picks. If you land 2 top 5 picks that hit, you are now in a position to where you could be running the Eastern Conference once Boston dies out. You'll be in control of these guys' contracts for 6 to 8 years because of the protections that teams now have under the new CBA with players that they draft. There is no reason to rush a single thing, which is why no matter what anybody rebuttals with, there is no actual evidence or fact that states doing this for 1 year, not getting the pick you want, and rushing the process will work is absolute stupidity. There's nothing that works with that.
Let me get Breezy. Yeah, Breezy.
I'm not rebuttaling it. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying that the difference between what me and you are saying is that I'm saying we are in position to do that. I don't think we're that far off. And I broke this down last night on the stream. If you heard it, it was basically saying that we still in position for it to happen. And again, I'm not trying to be funny. Y'all know I'm just being this is what I heard. So now they want somebody like Cooper Flag to come to this market. You know what I'm saying? It's success in having successful NBA teams in one place. You see that with you feel me, Gary live. You see that where I live in New York, Brooklyn. You see that in California. You feel what I'm saying? It makes sense for it to and again, what they were saying was send Cooper Flag here because the best talent in the NBA is European. Whether it be Jokic, whether it be Giannis, whether it be Wemby, all this stuff is making the international players are better than the players on this soil. With a player like Cooper Flag coming to Brooklyn, that changes things. The NBA could build their brand around that. And I'm saying that to say they want Cooper in Brooklyn. I think they want Cooper in Brooklyn. So what I
heard the same thing with John Wall in New Jersey, and I'm done fucking around with the lottery system when we own our own pick. Because the problem is when we own our own pick, we get fucked. When we don't, it's top 3. So to me, there's no reason.
But then it's Keith Van Horn.
What do you mean when? Boston got 2 top 3 picks because of our picks. Portland got a top 5 pick and drafted Dame because of our pick. When we had the opportunity to draft John Wall, we got the 3rd pick and landed Derek fucking Favors. The year that we were in the top 6, we got Brook Lopez at 7. Great player, but we still didn't land top 3. We have not seen a top 3 pick in Nets history since Kenyon fucking Martin. It was the year before I was born. It's pathetic. Yeah. It's a joke. The fact that you're not putting yourself in the position to get it is a joke. It's poor organizational management. It's malpractice. There's no other wording for it other than mismanagement.
Let me bring Pete in real quick. I want to get Pete's take.
Can I just finish one thing?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I saw a comment before that said if Cooper Flag was drafted, you think that this team's in a position to get number 1 next year? Yes, because the younger you get, the worse you perform in terms of win-loss ratio. It is a simplistic fact. If you are drafting 4 players next year, D'Lo's not back, Claxton's not back, Johnson's not back, you are going to lose more games this year than you did, or next year than you did this year. Because the younger you get, the less you win because they are developing. They don't know how to win games late down the stretch. They don't know how to take advantage of teams who are not maybe playing them as hard. They're young. They're still learning. It's their first year in the league. You lose more games. It is a very simplistic equation that works for most teams. And for somebody who says drafting picks with other teams' picks like Boston did with ours, that's not an excuse. Houston's done it. OKC's done it without their own picks. Boston did it without their own picks. Houston did it with most of their picks, right? Whether it's your pick or not, the whole point is if you land in the top 5 back-to-back years, you have put yourself in a position to where you can build long, sustainable winning culture.
But how you say we out of position?
It's possible, dude, but like the odds don't favor what you're saying. Like the Lakers picked 2-3 years in a row. They got Lonzo Ball, D'Angelo Russell, and
they were able to move it all. They were able to sign LeBron and move it all for Anthony Davis. Like, I understand that. It happens, but it's also the Lakers. We're comparing ourselves to one of the most prestigious organizations in basketball. I'm sorry. We're the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm saying, no, the amount of wins we got, we're not out of position. We're not out of position with the amount of wins we got. We just not.
Listen, again, until they are
regardless
number 1,
of what the records say of us being the bottom
until we land top 3, I'm not listening to a single word anybody says because this whole positivity bullshit that's never worked out in favor for the Nets as a fan base in the lottery, I'm sick of it. It's pathetic. We haven't drafted our own picks in 10 years that have even had a chance at a lottery pick. The numbers are we have not drafted the top 3 picks since the year before I was born. I'm 23. That's pathetic.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're not hearing the other numbers. The other numbers are
what are the other numbers?
Overlooking. The other numbers is when you look at the actual standings and the actual who got what pick because of the standings. We, the Brooklyn Nets, going into next draft are not out of position.
Do you want the numbers?
No. Hold on.
At
You
pick
keep
number 5. You keep saying number that, 5, that's not you true. Have a 10.5 chance to land picks 1 through 4. At pick 5, you have the 2.2% chance of staying at pick 5. At pick 6 and 7, you have a combined 49% plus chance of dropping below 5. I'm sorry, but stats don't lie. Men lie, women lie, but stats don't. And until it's otherwise, I'm standing on.
I just think how rigged the NBA lottery. Who would concoct a system like this to play on the up and up. Like, it's just insane to me. Like, whenever I see like how the NBA lottery works, it's like this is the most rigged thing in the world. Who
It's
has a
funny.
lottery like this? Like, have you ever
Like
seen
I said-
another
like I said on the
lottery
last
like
stream,
this?
Like I said on the last stream, if we land a top 3 pick, guess what? I'm as happy as can be. You can't say, "Oh, I was right." Why? Because I get what I want still. All right, but if we don't, I at least can say I told you so. That's the difference. I don't give a fuck what happens. We either land top 3 and I'm happy, or we land outside of the top 3 and I can scream "fuck Sean Marks," fire him, and all of you were wrong. There's no in between for me. I'm right regardless, and I'm fine with that.
I see. If we don't get top 3, which I disagree, I do think we do get top 3 because of the things I said. I think we might get 1 because of what I said about Cooper Flag. And the truth is, when you think about the NBA, it's true. There's no Larry Bird, somebody that's from here, from this soil.
There is
that's
no white
holding it
American.
down.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'm
there's no
saying
white
the international players getting more clout.
And what makes you think that they're not going to want to put that guy in San
more
Antonio?
love.
What makes you think they're not going to want to put that guy in Philly?
Same.
What makes you think they're not going to want to put that guy in
Let me
Houston?
respond to that. They might. They do.
That-
I think they
I
do,
wouldn't disagree
okay?
with that. They
Because-
wouldn't.
Because in terms of teams that can contend right now and are
San Antonio's
much better
number
than
one,
us,
by
San
far,
Antonio,
yeah.
Philly, and Houston all have better markets than us. Same
Nah,
with
don't
Miami.
Philly.
Nah,
Philly's
but how
better
much
than
you going to
Philly
get?
has a
But
better
hold on,
market than
but
us.
that's not.
Philly
they,
is a more
they be
desirable
under
market than
investigation. They be under
Philly
investigation to go to Spurs again. They just got they got the Castle at 4. They got Wemby at 1, and then they gonna get a 1. That's too much. That's too much.
Dallas got
I mean, that's
investigated
too
when they were.
obvious.
Dallas
They
got
can't just
investigated
keep
when they were
going
a
to
5
the-
or 6 spot, and
They
they
gotta
dropped
show the
us out.
Brooklyn Nets some love, man.
Hang on, guys.
There's no
Let
love
me
to
agree
give.
with-
We've done nothing.
Let me agree with Breezy on that. Like, yes, could I see it happening? Yeah, I could. I could see him going to San Antonio. San Antonio getting the number 1 pick. If that happens again, the second time in 3 years, the only year you don't get it is the research year when nobody wanted it really. The other 2 years when there's the big prize, you get both of them when you're not really in position to draft there. They're going to start throwing tomatoes at you. And like, if and I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It could. The Spurs, I promise you, are going to draft a lot higher than they're seated at right now. Like, they're
100%.
gonna pick, okay.
To me,
You are
the
gonna
only
start throwing
stat.
tomatoes at the screen if that happens. You know it, Dylan. Like, that stinks. And everyone knows it's rigged. And
Yeah,
love
it
I
sucks,
want
but
to
at the
get
end of the
Pete
day, if
where I
that's
want to
it,
be.
at the end of the day, if that puts us
Wanna
one
get to
step
me,
closer to
Gary?
firing Sean Marks, I'm fine with it. let me say one thing. The only stat that I am even banking on plays through is the simple fact that we are the only team in the NBA. We're the team that hasn't drafted the number 1 overall pick the longest. We have the longest drought for not being able to obtain the first overall pick. That's the only hope I'm being given. And the only
Right,
problem
that
with that
was
stat
us.
too, is considerably we did draft the number 1 overall pick. It went to Boston and they traded back to 3 and drafted Jason Tatum. So to me, that stat still has some false hope to it. But at the end of the day, the Nets as a whole, as an organization from Jersey to Brooklyn, have not drafted the number 1 overall pick the longest than any other team in NBA. That's the only little bit of hope I'm trying to hold on to. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, guess what I get to say?
Listen.
You were wrong, and the front office is fucking
Listen,
stupid because
Dylan.
they didn't put themselves in the position to get that pick.
Listen, the teams that got a worse record than us, that's in quote unquote better position than the Brooklyn Nets.
Utah has a
they
better
didn't-
roster
hold
than
on,
us.
Hold on, they didn't.
Charlotte has a
Guys,
better roster.
Let me finish.
get
Let me
John.
just say this
John
one
has-
thing.
Yeah, and then I need to hear from John on this.
They did the teams that got worse records than the Brooklyn Nets didn't do anything with their high lottery pick. Utah had Donovan Mitchell. They ain't go to the finals and win the championship. Why the NBA gonna keep going to teams with high lottery
Utah
picks
never-
and
Utah
not winning
never
no
missed the playoffs.
championship? You gotta cut us.
Utah never. Why are we acting like the Nets are fucking God's gift sent from heaven? We're not even a top 10
No,
organization all
I'm
time.
debating
This
your point.
organization
You're saying
is a
Utah.
joke.
I'm saying Utah had Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, etc.
Yes,
and
they had
didn't win the
they had
championship.
Donovan Mitchell who never missed
They
the
got
playoffs.
the NBA can't
They
keep
never missed
going
the
to
playoffs
the
with them.
same team when they
They
didn't
never
win the
missed the playoffs with
championship
them.
when they had high
Charlotte,
draft picks.
Charlotte drafted LaMelo Ball. He was an all-star or borderline all-star this year. He should have been. Brandon Miller's on the rise. What's wrong with them and what they've done draft-wise? Nothing.
Oh, he's done a great job. John, let me get to you. John, I gotta get to John. John, I haven't heard from you yet. Your thoughts on what Windhurst said? I think both guys make a fair argument. What are your thoughts?
Man, I picked some interesting videos, so this is where the conversation's going to go, man. I can't wait till we get to the second video. But listen, what I got from the video is this. This is probably one of the biggest gambles Sean Marks has taken with our future. You essentially gave the Rockets free diamond mine assets with the Suns picks and that Mavs pick. Listen, the Mavs pick was the only valuable thing we got from trading away Kyrie Irving, and we lost that. So essentially, we had Kyrie for nothing. We gave him away for nothing. So you gave away all that for your own 2 picks back. For me, getting 1 top 3 pick would be really good. Getting 2 back-to-back top picks would be great. That would be the greatest outcome you could hope for. But if you don't get any top 3 picks in these next 2 drafts, this is one of the biggest failures in NBA history. We are essentially the Brooklyn Nets auto shop. You want free draft picks? We got you. You need superstar players? We got you. Like that's what this organization has kind of been the last 8 years. We start projects, never finish them. We always seem to give the players away and the assets away for nothing. So with these 2 drafts, that has to change. You have to actually bank. And for me, this draft is way more important. This is our first ever lottery pick in Brooklyn Nets history. This is our first real impression. And you want it to be a great damn impression. Because the way we went about this season, man, the AJ DeBosa, Darren Peterson's like a mirage right now if we're going to carry the same strategy next year. But for right now, rather playing, we have 5th, 6th odds right now to get a top pick. If we get a top 3 pick this year, it's your first ever lottery pick, and I think that's making a great statement. But if you don't get a top pick, this is one of the worst trades you can make in NBA history. But I'll agree with Breeze here a little bit. We have kind of positioned ourselves a little better. We have a coach who gives a damn. I guess to Jay's point last night, we might be one of the most respectable taking teams. We haven't gotten obliterated more than once against the Clippers. But other than that, though, the leadership this season has been questionable at best. And we have to get a top pick to justify giving the Rockets free assets for free. So I hope it works out. But if it doesn't, like me, Gary, and Dylan always do, we just bring you guys the facts. But we are hoping that this first ever lottery pick truly is somebody that could be a foundational piece for years to come. And that's what we're going to find out on May 12th, whether Mark's made one of the worst gambles in NBA history or he might have made the biggest gamble that could save his career as a GM. We'll find out.
Let me just jump in for 1 second too. I'm not gonna debate it, argue it, rebuttal it, nothing. Look at every sport in America right now. Baseball, for example, the Nationals, the A's, all of these teams grab great young prospects, develop them, and what happens every single time? The big brothers always get those players, whether it's trade or through free agency. It's the same thing with the Nets. The Nets are not a top-tier organization. They have accomplished nothing in the NBA. That's just the fact. I am a diehard fan, and I can openly admit that. The Nets have not accomplished a single thing in their entire tenure over the past 20 years. Outside of the 2 finals they made, they have accomplished nothing. Specifically, they've accomplished nothing in Brooklyn. So keep that in mind. This whole hierarchy that we're trying to put the Nets on, what? Because they're the 4th highest valued franchise in basketball? Whoop-de-doo. Guess what? We've done nothing. That means nothing. Just because we're on a Forbes list doesn't mean that this organization is God's gift from the heavens. It's not. So until they prove otherwise, these are the facts. It's unfortunate to hear. Do you think I want the comparison on the screen right there? I don't want to be compared to the fucking Jets. I hate the Jets. The Jets suck. But unfortunately, that is the comparison for the Nets. The Nets have done nothing. So until they do, I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying.
All right, guys, I want to get to the next video. We spent a lot of time on this. We're going to spend a lot of time on this, and I guess I got to wrap. We'll pick up Cam Thomas next time, but this is going to go for a while. Sean Marks mistakes. All right, guys, ready?
Let's do it. I cannot wait.
Zoom in, Gary. Zoom in.
All right. Firing Kenny Atkinson at the request of Kyrie. Hiring Steve Nash. Not trading Dinwiddie at the 2021 deadline. Not giving Jeff Green an offer in the 2021 season. Banning Kyrie from road games during COVID. Trading Harden for Simmons. Not getting back Maxey and waiving the Simmons physical. Extended Patty Mills. He gave Patty Mills Bruce Brown's money. Didn't fire Nash, only to fire him 10 games into the season. Traded Kyrie to Dallas instead of LA and taking a lesser offer. Not trading DFS for 2 firsts, extending Vaughn for a second term for no reason, only to fire him 1 year into his 4-year extension. Not making sure Cam Thomas was a key part of the rotation after the stars were gone. Salary dumping Joe Harris when he had negative value. Salary dumping Patty Mills after giving him an extension. Not trading Royce O'Neal in the 2023 offseason and instead trading him for a second at the deadline when you could have gotten a first for him. Not trading DFS at the 2023 deadline. Not tanking after you traded the 25, 27, 29, and the Dallas pick to get your 25 and 26 first back. I mean, we can go. There's more to it than this, but I think he does. God, is Mark in the chat? Mark, are you in the chat, bro? If you are, don't even try.
He was here for a little bit. He's been quiet since. I'm not sure.
Oh,
We have the ultimate list now. This is go from Mark, Bob from Nets Daily, Dave. Some people I've been talking to that are Mark's apologists. I'm not going to use stands. I'm going to use apologists. Listen, you can't justify all this. And we'll add Claxton's contract to that list right now because he's made a lot of bad decisions. He's giving away bad money. He's traded away the stars where they want to go. Instead of showing a backbone, you should just show hard and listen. James, nobody's buying the injury shtick. You're staying here. Katie and Kyrie coming back. We're going to win a title. But no, he sends the stars wherever they want to go and taking on Ben Simmons' contract, horrible contract, the Bernie Madoff of basketball nearly destroyed our future. There's no way any of you guys can justify what Marks did as saying he should still be the GM because he got our picks back. What has he done? Where's the progression? Where's the actual building of something? It hasn't happened in 8 years. Anything that I said this to Gary and Dylan before the show started, anything Marks has tried to build in Brooklyn, he self-destroyed it. You can't say that makes him a good GM, and I'm gonna leave it at that right now. I go into a lot more, but that is the summary of this. He has not been able to start anything, build anything, or retain anything in Brooklyn the last 8 years, and that doesn't make a good GM in my book.
All right, let me play the video.
A lot of Sean Marks fans that plague this
Let me
fan
play
base
the video
always
real quick.
Sorry, and before you start that too, this is one of the most idiotic comments I've seen. Saying that getting worked up over so-called first rounders, how do you build an organization in any format of sports? You draft.
I don't
It's
I
that
don't
simple.
necessarily agree with it. We disagree on that. Like,
Think about every sport. Every
okay,
team's
the
best
Bucks
player
drafted
has
Jameis
probably
Winston,
been
number
drafted.
one, never had a winning season. Traded for Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl immediately. I don't necessarily agree with you. Like, the draft is a way to do it, and it's probably the best way for small market budget organizations. I don't know.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, top 3 picks.
They were
Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, top 7 picks.
Okay,
But I could go on.
Jaylen-
LeBron, number 1,
Jalen
KD,
Brunson, a free
2.
agent. Joker, a second round pick.
But
Giannis,
we're
a
talking about the
middle
3
of the first round pick.
percenters. We're talking about the 3 percenters, though. 9 times out of 10, a player who is drafted within the top 5, one of those 5 players is going to win a championship, is going to lead their team for 10 plus years, is going to be a multi-time All-Star, is going to be All NBA. That's a fact. We haven't seen it as a Nets fan in my entire existence, because Derek Favors was traded right away. Like, I have not seen a top 5 pick as a Nets fan. I don't give a shit if I'm 23 or 63. There's no difference.
Yeah,
But that's
no.
my point. There's no difference. Do it the right way for 1 to 2 years. It is not hard. Nets fans are acting like we have some fucking hierarchy that we've been winning forever, and that taking a year or 2 to rebuild is some devil worshipping shit.
You're right about that.
There is nothing for Nets fans to complain about when you have no championship hardware in your trophy case. There's nothing.
I agree. I've been a Net fan since 1990, right? And the only sustained winning we had was during the Jason Kidd era. So about 5-6 years there. That's it. That's all of our sustained winning. Other than that, it was maybe a good year here and a good year there. And by good
and
year,
you'd probably really say
barely
it's
over
more so
500.
4 years. Yeah, you would probably say it's more so 4 years, because when they got Vince, they went to shit.
Yeah, but they were still in the second round of the playoffs every year. Like, I count that as winning. I mean, they weren't going to win a title.
You can in a sense, but when you got Vince, the whole reason you got Vince was because you had made the finals and you felt like you were a missing piece away. And the fact that you never got back to that point is really not that good of a sign. Like, I love Vince. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But there's just there was nothing successful about it. That to me is more so a failure than it is a positive. Because if it was a positive, you would have gotten back to the stage that you were at before.
I agree, but here's my point. Right, you're right. No, it didn't work out in the same way that KD and Kyrie didn't work out. You didn't get past second round, right? But it made for entertaining basketball. It gave you valuable games. It was a fun time. Yes, it didn't ultimately work out. You didn't get to even the conference finals. But
see, and that may be my problem as like a Steelers and Yankees fan. I'm used to winning. I am used to being the top of my sport, and I think that's the difference. If you want to be a fan that is cool with first and second round losses and looks at it as victories, by all means, that's great. But the fact that we have not been to a finals in 20 years and we haven't even come close to it, if that doesn't worry you and that doesn't make you want to get there more, that's a problem to me. If we're just cheering for first and second round losses, hey, that's a weird way of being a fan in my eyes.
Cheering for that, but all things considered, when you think there's 30 teams in the league, only 4 of them make it to the conference finals. Only 8 of them make it to the second round. It's not a bad season. I'm not saying it's a banner season and we should celebrate it, but it's a good season in the sense that as a fan, it gave you valuable games. It gave you a team to root for. Like this, I'm the biggest Nets fan in the world. This crap is unwatchable. Like I gotta like make myself watch these games. Yeah.
I agree. I'm the same way. Do you know how hard it is to root against your own team? It fucking blows. Like, I genuinely hope we land in the top 3 simply so I can say, holy fuck, thank God I don't have to do that again. Like, people don't understand. There's nothing enjoyable about hating my own team. There's nothing beneficial for me whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it's all factual. Everything that I am saying in terms of how we're not positioning ourselves properly to land a top 3 pick, how we're not doing anything correctly by not moving off of veterans, all of these things are true. How we have a piss poor GM, all of these things are true. This is not negativity. This isn't false. This isn't me giving you guys like false information. These are all facts. So until it's proven otherwise, I have to stay this way. I've stayed this way long enough. I'm not going to switch up now and be like, oh my God, we have 23 wins. Let me stroke Sean Marks for it. No, this is a piss poor product and a piss poor front office that is doing piss poor things. And until they get rewarded for it, there's nothing for me to say. It's dog shit.
Let me get to the video. Let me get to the video. I want to listen to the video. The video is good. Shout out to Cypher over at Kingdom. Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy.
How are we judging Sean Marks? A lot of Sean Marks fans that plague this fan base always defend him by saying process over results. You can't criticize him for the big 3 failing because individually he didn't make any major bad decisions. Which, by the way, tangent, that isn't true because he made plenty of bad choices with all the coaching hirings, waiving Simmons' physical. But, I'm not going to go there because here I'm asking the Sean Marks stance. How are we judging him? Is it process over results? Because if that's the case, if the Nets get lucky and they get Cooper Flagg, why would we give him credit for that? He didn't optimize the lottery odds by tanking, resting players like the Jazz do, or trading all these vets before the season even started. Oh, but now the results matter if we get Cooper Flagg? Oh, who cares about process? And if we're being results-oriented, he's one of the worst GMs in the NBA. One playoff series win in 9 years. KD, Kyrie, and Harden all asked out in a span of 12 months. 3 top 15 players asked out of your team in 12 months. Oh, but no, it wasn't his fault. He made the good decision. In that situation, process matters, not the results? Here's the truth, and this is the Sean Marks stance, and I hate them so much for it. They always move the goalpost to never criticize him. They'll always spin it to make him look good. Why trade the Suns picks if you weren't going to tank? That isn't a hindsight. Oh, hindsight is 2020. No, he knew whether or not he had the balls to tank, and he didn't. Sean Marks is a joke, and his stands are a fucking joke.
All right. First, I want to address the haters in the chat. Okay, I live in Dallas. I flew halfway across the country, spent my own money to go watch the Net games this year, and stay in New York for a week to go to Net games. There's no bigger Nets fan. Dylan, they may be as big a Nets fan as me. There's no bigger Nets fan than me. All right, so let's check that. Okay, but I'm not going to sit here and sit for Sean Marks and sit for guys who suck. Nick Claxton sucks. Okay, and as a Net fan, I don't want him here anymore because he sucks. If I was a Nets hater, I'd say keep him. Sean Marks is the worst GM in all of professional sports I've ever seen in my whole life. So I don't want him here because I want to win. I want to be good. Like, it's because I'm a Nets fan that I'm going to say Claxton has to go. I don't even hate Claxton. I like him. Like, he's a good dude. He's just not.
Yeah, I have nothing against Claxton as a person. He's cool as hell. Great dude. But again, it's just when you don't see the development that you were hoping for in year 6 now while getting this contract, yeah, it's not going to be in our favor as fans to maybe root for him to be on the team next year. Again, there's a huge difference between hating and being real. This is like a misconception between people. I hear it all the time. This isn't negativity. This is factual. The team's poorly run. The team's not in the best position to land the number 1 pick. The team didn't move off of Cam Johnson for his value, which they should have. These are all things that are factual. If you can't agree with that, either A, you're delusional, or B, you love a team so much that you can never say that they're wrong. It's like being in a relationship. I'm going to go with Gary's women analogy here and relationship analogies. If you're in a relationship with somebody that cannot actually say that they're wrong about something, even though they're wrong about it, that's like the Nets. That's how Nets fans, some of these Nets fans are. They are flat out saying that they are, that the Nets do no wrong and that you have to cheer for it and act like everything's happy-go-lucky. It's not. It
Y-
sucks.
You know what the big
After
problem
some
was?
time, you're going to want to see success, and we haven't seen that.
You know what the big problem for me? It's the communication style of the last, 4 or 5 years. It's been all over the damn place. Like Joe and Marks, you couldn't keep three superstars who offensively were doing great when they were together happy. You couldn't meet their little demands. And listen, let's be honest, some of them have maybe diva personalities. Okay. But when they were together on the court, they were offensively crushing it like nobody's business. And all three of them didn't want to be around you. And one of them requested for you to get fired, and that was Kevin Durant. And Dylan, I think you and me, if we were the owners, we have two between Sean Marks and Kevin Durant. I think it's
It was
quite
a no-brainer.
easy where we would
It was a
go.
no-brainer. I would have driven to
No-brainer.
his house, packed his bags, drove into the airport. Shit, I would have even gotten on the flight with him, grabbed all his stuff, and packed his entire new home for him. He is
Seriously.
not worth more than a Kevin Durant. He's not worth more than a Cam Johnson, and I hate Cam Johnson.
Seriously, and what happened? They sent them where they wanted to go, and then he made the Bridges deal. And this is a weird communication style. These two couldn't find out that this guy was way happier being with his Knicks Villanova buddies, and his non-biological twin Scam Johnson. He got gifted $90 million because the front office thought Bridges wanted to be here, and Johnson, guilt by association, got gifted the money because they thought they were going to sign Bridges. Like, that's a huge problem. You can't give a guy $90 million if the guy that you wanted in the Kevin Durant deal doesn't even want to be with you. Like, this front office doesn't understand their own players. Like these are simple things that me, Dylan, Gary talk about, guys. Like, you want a structure, you want a system, you want guys that are fighting for the same goals. This year, you got vets telling people like me, Gary and Dylan, to go to hell because we actually want this team to be better. We don't want 30-year-olds making $20 million going on podcasts talking bullcrap about how the All-Star game should be. No, we want younger talent on this team that actually wants to be here, develop, and Jordy's actual system. Let Jordy actually develop actual talent to be part of. That's why you got to hit on both these drafts. Because if we don't hit on both these drafts, we're going to be back in the old Brooklyn Nets playbook, star hunting. And you guys have seen how that's gone the last two times we've gone star hunting. The Stars have been together for less than 2 years on this team. That's why
Let me
drafting
jump in
high,
here for
like
a second,
Dylan
'cause I
says,
saw
is
a
so
comment.
important.
Yeah,
this
let me
team's
jump in
future.
here for a second because I saw a comment from Mark. Herb Jones, one of the top 3-and-D players and one of the highest caliber of role players, he has a $12 to $14 million deal over the next 3 years. Trey Murphy, $25 to $27 million. Trey Murphy is a 10 times better player than Cam Johnson has or ever will be, and he is still young. So let's not say a $20 million, $23 million contract is a good thing for Cam Johnson. It was an overprice. It was an overpriced contract because he liked the person. Once again, Sean Marks is a person lover. He is not a successful GM. There is no difference whatsoever in saying that he is either good or bad. He is just flat out ass. There has been nothing that he has done that has helped this organization do anything successful in the last 5 years. Did he get us out of a situation with no picks? Yes. Completely give him credit for it. We all loved him for it. We all thought he was going to do great things. Fucked up the 7-11 era and has fucked up this era since. Just a fact.
Yeah, this isn't a treehouse, guys. It's not a clubhouse. It's not bring in your buddies and win 20 games and pay them a bunch of money. Like, Cam Johnson was signed to keep Bridges happy, who immediately acts out and to be traded to your crosstown rivals. Like, everything he does is horrible. Like, he gave Cam Johnson a bad contract to keep Bridges happy. Bridges was immediately unhappy and asked to be traded to the Knicks.
Horrible.
This is like a bad joke with this guy, and I don't understand. Here we go.
And Mark, you say Johnson's contract is valuable. He has incentives on his deal that teams that were near the second apron didn't want to meet. So when Marks demands 2 first-round picks for a guy who has incentives on his contract, they're not going to give into that unless they know they can win a title. So, Mark, you were wrong. Johnson's contract is not valuable like you say it is. That's why you should have traded when he had the chance.
If it was so valuable, a team would have traded for him.
Yeah.
Or Mark would have traded him.
And they'd offer you
That's simple.
value. They would offer you value. They wouldn't say, "Here, take an expiring deal."
The problem is
that's
that
it.
Marks
There's no-
has the problem is Marks has a value on what Cam Johnson is because of the contract that he gave him that no other NBA team agrees with, simply because the contract is not as valuable as Marks makes it out to be. That is a simple fact. He is not worth 2 first-round picks, whether he was playing at the peak of his career earlier in the season or right now. He's not worth
All right,
2
look,
first-round picks.
real quick. This is an easy thing to end the debate, right? Herb Jones, right? That's your example, right?
Got his extension 2 years
When-
ago. Yep.
When 2 years ago, right? Okay, so what is he? He's a wing, right?
6'8",
He's
small
playing-
forward, power forward, one of the
Play
best
small
defenders in
forward, power forward,
basketball,
right? All right.
shoots over
Pelicans back in
37% from three.
2023. What's their depth chart looking like? Power forward,
You tell
small
me.
forward. Zion
me.
Williamson, star. Brandon Ingram, all-star. So where's the starting
All-star.
market in Herb Jones' example? He's a
the
starter
starting market in
now
Cam
after
Johnson?
having moved
Where's the
Brandon
starting?
Ingram, and
All
the
the teams
value
that were
now
looking at
looks
Cam
great
Johnson,
because
where
no.
does he start? Where does he start?
Market is determined by at the time when you put the ink on the paper.
And
He
that's
was
an
not
overprice.
the starter
A shitty
when he
team is
put the
always going
ink
to
on the
overpay
paper.
for a player. That's a fact.
Dylan, was
A
he the
shitty
starter?
team- a shitty team is always going to overpay for a player.
He's
Is
the
that not
starter
true, yes
now.
or no?
He's the starter now.
Is that not
Was
true, yes or
he
no?
the starter when he put the ink
Answer the
on the
question.
paper?
Answer the question.
No, I'm asking.
Are
I
shittier
answered
teams
you the
always going to
question.
overpay for a player?
What?
Yes or no? Or is a shittier team always going to overpay for a player? Yes or no? The Nets offered Alan Crabb over $18 million.
Yeah,
Alan
but
Crabb.
that's going way
They-
back
they-
when
they
we
offered
were in
Tyler
the
Johnson
shit
60
era where we
It's
had
the same-
nothing.
Mark,
We
stop.
were in
No,
quicksand.
no.
difference.
It's the same guy. You can't justify
And he offered it. He offered it, and it was matched. And then when he did take the deal, he got 12
And Alan Crabb
points
is
per
known to
game
be one of
for
the
2
worst
seasons and flipped
contracts
it
in
and turned it
basketball
into Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving with the
and
cap
he is
space.
known for, and Alan Crabb
How
is
did
known
that
to be
go,
the
Mark?
worst NBA
What?
contract in NBA history.
No. So now let me ask you a question, Dylan, and please provide an answer and don't segue, don't
Get to
go
your question.
silent. When
Get to your
Herb
question.
Jones put the ink on the paper,
He was a
was
6'7"
he?
man.
No.
He was a
Let me finish the
6'7"
question.
man.
Was
You asked
he
if he
the
was a rotational
starter?
piece or a
Was he
starter.
the
I said he
starter
was a
when he put
6'7"
ink on
man.
paper?
I
Yes
said he
or
was a
no?
6'7"
Simple
man.
yes or no. Was
I
he
said he was a
starter?
6'7"
Ink
man.
on paper? Yes
He
or
was
no?
a 6'7" man, one of the highest caliber role players.
Oh,
in
so he
basketball.
wasn't a starter.
Okay, and is
Okay,
Cam
so now the
Johnson a starter
market
on 9 out of
is
the 10
that's
teams?
for a
And is Cam
rotation
Johnson
guy.
a starter
Same
on
kind
9
of
out of the 10
contract that
teams that
Obi
were
just
pursuing him?
signed. Come
Mark,
on,
No.
guys.
let me ask you, Mark. Let me
No.
ask you a
Be
question.
real about it. Be real about it.
Yeah, be real
Why are
about
you
it. Is
wearing
Cam Johnson
shades in
going
the
to overpay?
daytime,
Let me ask
dude?
you a question.
Well,
wanna
it's
ask you a
sunny out and I'm
question.
outside, John.
Mark,
See?
it's a yes or no question. Okay.
Talk to me.
When Orlando signed Tracy McGrady, who is the runner-up in six-man voting, 6 man of the year voting that year, when they signed him to that contract, which was the richest contract in basketball, was he a starter?
Akeem, that's also false. We were an 8 seed. We had to play Philly in round 1.
Wait. Say the question again, Gary.
When Orlando, I will ask the question. When Orlando signed Tracy McGrady, when Tracy McGrady was the runner-up in six
when was
man
that? Like
of the year voting,
2001 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
was
Okay.
was he the starter? Was he the starter?
Was he the starter on Toronto? No.
Yeah. Okay. No, he
Was he
wasn't.
brought in to be the starter on Orlando
We would have brought Herb Jones. We would have signed Herb Jones. To
No,
start.
but listen to what I'm saying. Listen, you're shifting the argument, the conversation to make it seem like it's right. Herb Jones put ink on paper when he was not the starter. So don't say the market for starting wings is Herb Jones. No, because Herb Jones was not the starter. That's all I'm saying. Clear it up. Put all the facts. Because Casey now I provided examples
Herb
of.
Jones was the starter. To be
Provided
factually
one
correct,
example.
Herb Jones.
No.
was
Okay, so now
absolutely the starter.
let me provide more examples. I'll rattle them off for you really quick.
Why? You were already
KCP.
proven wrong on the example that you
have
walked
to be
in here
factually
with.
What? How was I wrong? Herb Jones wasn't the starter.
No,
How
he
was
Gary
I wrong?
just
Tell me where I was
Gary
wrong.
just said. Gary just said he was the starter.
He
How
started
was-
every single game that year. Well, how was he the starter? He played 6
Because
games.
Zion was on the bench. It wasn't. Oh, we got the Herb
Oh,
Jones
now
era.
there's the
Forget
excuse.
about Zion. It was
Oh,
Zion
He
was
started
out.
70
Come
He
on.
started more
Context
games.
that
He
shit.
started.
Context
He
that
started
shit.
more games. He
Don't
started
just
more games.
Put fake facts.
started-
And
He
There was
started the
never
game.
a point
He was still a
outside of
starter.
his first month.
okay.
He wasn't the starter.
If Zion is healthy, Ingram is healthy, they're
Ingram's not there. Ingram's not there.
now
there.
he's not there. When he
Ingram's
signed the
not there. Who
contract,
cares?
Ingram
Doesn't matter.
was. So
If
okay,
your
so now
value
give
is
me
of a
your other
potential starter,
example
you're gonna
of
get paid.
who is
He's
this
the
starting
starter.
wing
He's
that
played
just got
200
There's
re-signed.
no other
40
examples that
games
need to be
bro.
given.
You
This
guys
isn't a
sound
debate. You're
crazy.
walking on here.
Clearly, he's a
You
starter.
guys sound
He started.
crazy. I'm giving you examples. Miles Bridges, 3 years, 75.
You say
KCP,
Johnson's
horrible
3
contract
years,
was good
66.
was not
DeAndre
a fact.
Hunter,
Horrible
4 years,
contract on a
90.
bad team.
Those starting market
Exactly. Atlanta Hawks,
wings.
horrible contract on a bad
Do
team.
you know that
keep
Johnson was
proving
actually
my point.
13
Hold on.
points as a former lottery pick, Mark?
Forget
Hold on.
about
You keep-
points.
hold
I'm
on.
talking
You keep
market.
proving my
Market.
point.
Forget about
How
points.
does that equate 90
Market.
million? Come on.
It's the
Nobody else would give him 90
market.
mil.
Dylan
He
Brooks,
wouldn't
4
have got
years,
90 mil from
82.
anybody
Proving my
else,
point.
Mark. Come
Horrible
on.
teams with cap
Yeah,
space.
Yeah,
let
we
Dylan
would have
have
got
the floor
90
because
million
this is going to
anywhere
back and
else.
forth.
Come
Go ahead.
on.
Keep,
All
Yeah,
right, guys,
you wouldn't
guys,
have.
guys,
proving
come on,
my point.
One mic. I
You
wanna be
keep
everybody,
proving my
guys.
point. You keep proving my point.
What
DeAndre
point?
Hunter got his contract on the Hawks, dog shit team.
Okay.
Who was your other one? Miles Bridges on the Hornets, dog shit team.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
team that every
Dylan
player
Brooks,
that gets
who
a
you're
higher
Dylan Brooks.
on the Rockets the first year. Dylan Brooks the first year on the Rockets were a lottery team.
But
Dylan
where
Brooks the
were we?
first year in
Where were
Houston was a
we?
lottery
We
team.
were trash. We were
Dylan
dog
Brooks
shit
the
too.
first
And what
year
was the alternative?
Okay, and that doesn't mean it's a good contract. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. That does not mean that it is a good contract. Mark, you got muted because you won't shut up. We're trying to get to the points here. He's still going. He can't even hear. Look at him. This is ridiculous. Dude, put it on the car speaker so you can hear better. Nobody can hear you.
Gary,
Nobody can hear
would
you. We had to mute you because we're
Mark.
trying to get moving.
I'd like you to respond to what I want to have like a decent conversation here.
This shit
Please
is crazy.
respond- Please respond to what Dylan says.
Go ahead, Dylan.
3 piss poor teams that you just named gave bad contracts to players who are starting on bad teams. That does not mean the contract is good. It is as simple as that.
Okay. Can I jump back in?
Yeah, please.
When the Nets signed him, what were we? Were
Dog
we
shit.
this?
Dog
Okay,
shit.
so and did we have our draft picks?
At the time, no.
No. Okay, so were we forced to have to try to
No,
compete?
we were not. You could have signed and
No.
traded him. We weren't competing. What were the moves that
Well,
indicated that we were
What?
competing?
No. Don't
What
say that
moves
only
indicated
after
we
the
were-
fact, knowing how the season played out.
That doesn't
At
matter.
the
What
no.
moves prior
See
to
what I'm
Cam
saying?
Johnson and
When he
Claxton
put the
coming back
listen,
into the
Dylan,
league?
be quiet and let me just say what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're on here right now. You joined us. I'm telling you, what moves prior to Claxton and Cam Johnson indicated that we were trying to win now? Nothing. So again, your point
It wasn't
is wrong.
win now. We had no choice but to try to compete. We had no control of our draft picks. There was no incentive to take.
And he got out again. Okay,
Okay.
point being,
But I don't understand his argument. So since
there's
we
no
don't
point of the argument.
in bad position, now we have to give bad contracts because
Yeah,
we're
that's
in bad
pure
position.
stupidity.
It makes no sense what you're saying, Mark.
It's pure
Like, if
stupidity.
we were one piece away and we thought he was like, okay, the Knicks. OG's overpaid. He is.
Yep.
He's a good player. If you think OG puts you over the top, then I overpay him. I don't overpay people when I'm horrible. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why am I doing that? I'm just screwing my team moving forward. I don't understand that argument at all.
Gary, would Johnson have gotten 90 mil from any other team but Sean Marks? Gary, it's quite honest answer.
All of these contracts are like that.
Come on.
He's not here. I don't know. Mark, can you hear us? Breezy, you want to weigh in on this? Breezy, we haven't heard from you in a minute. Are you there? You want to weigh in on this?
Breezy may be working
Breezy, you're
again.
muted. Breezy, okay, Breezy, peace out for a minute. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, my
All
whole
right.
point to the argument he's trying to make here is there was no moves to show that they were competing. They brought back the same fucking roster. That team had 30 wins. That's not competing. So the excuse of they were trying to make moves to compete is blasphemy. If you were making moves to compete, you would have traded for DeJounte Murray last year at the deadline. Simple as that. He was worth a singular first-round pick. They had a first-round pick to move, and they didn't. So let's not talk about win now.
Herb Jones
When
is a
they
good
weren't doing
contract question.
Herb Jones is one of the best contracts in basketball. Trey Murphy, at the level that he's playing currently, only making $25 million a year, is huge. He is a solidified second, third option. Cam Johnson is nothing more than a fourth option on a contender. That is a fact. It is an overvalued price. 16 to 18 million makes sense, not 23.
What is Off the Porch talking about? Johnson lived to his contract. Last year, he was missing so many three-point shots, and now he's stat padding on a bad team. If that's a little up to your contract, okay, but would he be doing this on a better team? He'd be averaging less on a better team.
My point was this in regards to when Johnson signed the contract. There was no incentive for us to take a step back. We had no control of our picks. We were forced to try to compete at the time. The contract that he signed is well within the starting wing market at the time of when you're signing your contract. Okay? Herb Jones, if he's a free agent today, gets the same deal. Period. Like, stop trying to, pretend as though that, oh my God, this is a crazy overpay. No, at the time it made sense. Letting him walk for nothing made no sense. And he's still a piece that we can move. Like,
all right, I'm gonna
He's
respond
averaging
to that.
13
I'm gonna
points.
bugging out. Like, am I
That's
not?
not a game changer.
Like, come on.
I'm gonna respond.
That's not a game
Okay.
changer, though, Mark.
I know. I don't say he's a game changer, and he's not being paid as a game changer. Game changers are impact high high top tier players
Well,
making
you
40
said
mil.
something. I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna respond. All right. Okay. The trade was awful at the time. You don't trade one of the greatest players who's ever lived for two role players. It was a horrible trade. What made the trade even worse was then overpaying Cam Johnson and compounding the situation. We all knew, what the hell are you doing, Sean Marks? No one said that was a good contract at the time. Nobody. No one. Oh, that's good value for Cam Johnson, who, by the way, Jamison Crowder quit the Suns because he was starting. That's what his teammates thought of him. Okay, like it was never good. The trade was bad. The signing was worse. Not trading him is unspeakably bad. Cam Johnson has been mishandled every single step of the way.
But listen, I'm not disputing that he shouldn't be on the roster. He shouldn't be playing for the Nets at this point. I'm not disputing that. No, you can't say that, Gary. You can't say that, Gary. You can't say that. You can't say that. And by trying to say like he got overpaid, what is the market for wings? That's what I'm saying. Like show me where.
20 million.
Show me where there's not
Starting caliber fourth option player, 16 to 20 million.
Wait, no, show me where a starting wing in free agency. I just told you, Dylan Brooks, Miles Bridges, DeAndre Hunter,
again, we already came to the
KCP.
conclusion that those were 4 bad teams that paid 4 mediocre players 4 bad contracts. And notice how none of those teams have done dick sense and why half of them have been traded. This is not difficult.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You're saying fourth option, right? What about Derek White?
What's Derek White on a different team?
Stop.
What's
No.
Derek White?
So if Cam Johnson got paid 90 over 4,
you're talking
120 over 4, what is
about a
that?
team that's won a championship and that continuously is contending over the last 6 years. You're
Pick
talking
a
about
team,
team that's in contending.
pick a team, and let's
You
go
pick
over
a team.
contract.
I can keep rebuttaling all day long. Pick another team. Go ahead.
Chicago, Patrick Williams. Talk about it.
Can I jump in real quick? Just to put some
Bulls and Patrick
context.
Williams,
to what y'all think.
it's a dog shit contract at the time that he signed it. Now that we're 4 years into or what is it, 2 or 3 years into the deal, he's making $18 million. He's not a fourth or fifth option player, and that's why they're looking to trade and move off of his contract. He was rumored to be trying to get traded this NBA trade deadline.
But
and they weren't
that's
able
what
to
the
because it's a bad
market
contract.
entailed. You're saying you're
using a market as an excuse to make a bad offer. When you
no. The
player after
market
signing
is
him.
what the market is. That's all I'm saying. Don't bash it like
If
Cam
that was
Johnson's
the
the
case-
only
if that was the
one
case, why did Jalen
outlier
Brunson
of
If
wings
that's the
getting
case, why did
paid.
Jalen
This,
Brunson take a pay cut?
Here's my point, Mark.
If a market's a market, why did Jalen Brunson take a pay cut?
he
You
did
can
it so
take
that he
pay
could
cuts.
build a team around him because
Okay,
he's
you can take pay
the
cuts.
franchise player though, Dylan.
Okay, so
That's
you
like
can
when
take pay
Tim
cuts.
Duncan used to take pay cuts, and
Cam
Dirk Nowitzki used to
Johnson's
take
not
pay
our franchise
cuts.
player. Oh well,
What?
Cam
Can I
Johnson's
jump
not our
in real
franchise
quick?
player.
Yeah,
Wait.
I stand in there, Ice.
All right, look, to y'all point, right? To Mark's point, I remember now because I was thinking it was three wings that was left. It was Cam Johnson on the market, Jeremy Grant, and I think Kyle Kuzma. And all of them got big contract. I think Jeremy Grant got the biggest contract from Portland at the time. So what Mark is saying is, at that time, what Cam Johnson got was what the market was giving, because I think Kuzma got a little bit less than Cam, and then
Dylan
Cam got a little bit
Brooks.
more, and then Jeremy Grant got the biggest contract at the time.
DeAndre Hunter.
Let me respond. Jeremy Grant is 100 times better than Cam Johnson, and so is Kuzma. So to pay him more,
He is much more.
He's also 100
impactful.
times paid more. He's paid nearly double his salary, though.
No, he's
You think
not.
he's double? You think he's double the impactful player as Cam
He's
Johnson? You're
making
crazy
26
if you
to
think that.
27 million a year. That's $5 million more than
He
Cam
signed.
Johnson's getting.
Pull up his
That's not
contract.
double.
Pull up his contract. Pull up his
I
contract.
have it right in front of me.
What was it? What did he sign at the
I have
time?
it right in front of me. I don't have the exact what he signed. I have exactly what he makes right now.
No,
which
no,
is the
don't
same
forget
year
what
that
he
Cam-
makes at the
It's-
time of the contract. What was it?
are
How
we
many
forgetting
years?
that?
How many
How are we
million?
forgetting that? It's the same level of
How
contract.
many
that
years?
Cam
How many
Johnson got,
million?
just
I'll pull
different
it up
money.
if you don't want to.
He's making $29.4 million over the next 4 years.
It's considerably
Alright,
more. It was
Considerably
5 years,
more.
139. Considerably more. And he's a
Can I just
considerably
say this
better
one
player.
point?
5 years, 160 mil.
Currently,
Yeah.
what they are at right now,
What-
they are making
five-
5 million
$5.39.
difference.
Mark,
Currently, what they are
hang on,
making right
hang
now,
on,
it's a
hang
5
on,
million
guys,
difference.
Let's have a simple conversation here. Mark, what is your point about Jeremy Grant?
No, what I'm
There's
saying
no
is the
point.
market. He got overpaid. Do you think Jeremy Grant is worth an extra year and another 70 million more than Cam Johnson?
Mark,
no,
you
I'm
invest.
Hells no.
Mark, I'm
do you
gonna mute
invest?
you again unless you answer my question. What is your point about Jeremy Grant? That he's better than Cam Johnson and got paid more than Cam Johnson? That's your point?
Do you no.
No,
The
don't ask me
market
the question.
we were
I'm
talking
asking-
It's
I'm
that a
asking you the
market causes
question.
for bad
What
contracts.
is your point about Jeremy Grant?
my point is the market, and then I'm bringing up Jeremy Grant, given the contract that he got around the same time.
That's
Way
like
more
fighting,
than
that's like fighting fire with shit.
It doesn't
What are
make
you
any
getting
sense.
at?
Wait, let
You're
him
you're
explain
giving
it's
it.
bad
the
contracts
market.
because
It's
a
the market.
Okay,
It's
okay.
the
So
market.
when the
Jordan
stock
got more
market,
money.
so when the
Yeah,
stock
I
market sucks,
understand.
are you investing
The
fully
market,
into it?
brother. It's the market.
No. You
It's
keep
the market.
saying
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
yes,
I know
it
it's the
is
market.
the market.
Yeah, I
What
guess,
does
I
that-
guess,
what does
yeah.
that
When
mean,
a
Mark?
market sucks, then you're gonna just overpay.
It's the market.
That
It's the
makes sense.
market. Don't blame the GM because you know what?
That's
Portland
exactly
did it.
He's the one that offers
Chicago
the
did
contract.
it.
He's the one that
Charlotte
offers
did
the
it.
contract.
Houston did it. Atlanta did it. Come on.
Notice how none of those teams outside one of them are actually relevant, and that player isn't even a top 4 player on the team that he's on with that contract. Thank you for proving our point.
Okay. Okay. So Luke,
That's it. That's
because
it.
we can really just really keep going with it. We can really keep going with it.
You can.
Can I
There's
just say this
nothing
one
to go
point
on.
real quick, Gary?
Talk
Can I just
on
say
it,
this one
John.
point real quick? The reason the contract was made for Johnson is because Sean Marks foolishly believed he could quickly retool his team around Johnson Bridges, be his bootleg version of a Tatum Brown, which was idiotic because you need a star to come to that team. When the stars didn't want to come, you had to overpay for Johnson. Then Bridges didn't want to be here, which is the whole reason that Marks had this crazy idea in his plan. The guy never wanted to be there. So the money shouldn't even come to Johnson's hands. You can't even read the room and realize that the guy you wanted in the KDL didn't even want to freaking be there. So why are we paying Johnson this money when he should have been traded at the very least if we were going to keep Bridges at the whole time? Like it should have been null and voided at that point. We should not
ask Mark this question.
went
First,
past
Mark,
that.
I appreciate you walking towards the fire. I appreciate you willing to walk into the lion's den and fight the lion. I do. I appreciate you doing that. All right. But let me ask you that question. If they didn't have Bridges, would they have given Cam Johnson that contract? Be honest.
If they didn't have Bridges, were they still giving Cam Johnson that deal? Yeah, because at the time they still didn't even have their picks. So it made no sense. You don't let talent walk out the door when you have no.
What kind of talent is he, Mark? You act like he's top tier. Come
He's the
on.
type of no. He's the type of talent that you guys are saying. Well, he's worth at least a first round pick, so he has some value. He was in the 3-point shootout. He's not a bad player. Is he a top level? Guys, I'll table the whole question. Do you guys think that Cam Johnson is a top level shooter in the NBA today? No.
No.
Okay.
He's had one good
All
season.
right.
in the past 2
Gary,
years.
Gary, do you think he's a top level shooter?
No.
You don't think
he's
so?
had one
neither?
good
John?
season in
Okay.
the past 3 years.
Okay. What was that?
He's had one good season in the past 3 years. The
I'm
other
not
one's
saying
been
he's
injured.
fucking Steph Curry, but I'm also not saying that he's dog
He's
shit.
mediocre. He's a 4th, 5th option.
He's not mediocre in terms of shooting.
He's a good
4th or 5th option is
He's a good shooter. That's what I'm saying. He's a good shooter,
he's a good
which holds
shooter.
value in today's NBA floor spacing. No,
I'm not
am I
saying
crazy?
I'm not
Yes.
saying he has no value. What we're saying is he's overpaid. That's the argument. It's a bad contract for minimal value. Yes, he has value. Yes, he
Gary,
can help a good
the
team.
market dictates the contract.
And the market doesn't dictate the guy who fucking offers the contract. It's truly that simple. Sean Marks is awful. Can we move on? There's nothing more to this.
He's not a good
There is
defender.
nothing more to
He's
this.
not a good
I'm
defender.
not even arguing Sean Marks good,
You don't
bad.
even
I'm
have
just
to
simply
offer the
saying
contract.
market. Was that in line with the market? Yes. To answer that question,
An
it's yes.
inflated
And if you're
market
saying
with
no,
poor wing options.
you're
Sure.
out of your mind.
Sure, an inflated market with poor wing options. Sure. Yeah, if your best 3 players were Kuzma, Hunter, and Johnson as your wings, hey, by all means, if you think that's a good market, feel free.
They all signed the
Mark,
same type deal for
let
the
me-
same
let me-
type.
let me
And
ask
they
you a question.
all
Let me
are
ask you a question.
meaningless. to their
OG got
teams.
40 million and OG got 40 million. Would you then give Kuminga 40 million? RJ Barrett got 35 million. Would you then give Kuminga 40 million? Because those other guys got those other couple players.
You're just not putting no
poor
context
team,
on.
though.
No, I
poor
hear
team,
you. I
though.
got you. Would you give Kuminga 40 million because OG got 40 million?
No,
But that's
Point
the
being.
market. But that's the market, Mark.
that's not the market.
That
The
is
market.
the
No.
market.
Demanded 30 to
That's
35
last.
million.
No, that was OG's market last year, and he used leverage because the Knicks. What are you gonna do? You're gonna let him walk out the door for nothing after you just gave up RJ Barrett, Manuel quickly, and a first-round pick for
But
him?
so different teams are in different situations. So
You
And
got to
at the
put
end
it
of the
all
day,
in
they're still
context.
overpaying. And at the end of the day, they're still overpaying.
Yeah.
OG's market wasn't 40 million.
It's
His market
overpaid.
was
It's
around
overpaid.
30. The difference is he had an offer for a little bit more, so the Knicks overpaid for him. Hence why we're saying that this guy's overpaid. Every player,
And
9
I'm
times out
not
of 10,
saying
who
I'm
hits
not
the open market
saying
is
that
going to
he's
be overpaid.
overpaid or underpaid. I'm saying
You just said he's not overpaid. That it's
I'm
market
saying
value.
the market dictates the contract.
And you said
Am
that wasn't
I
an overpay
wrong
because
in
of the
saying
market.
that?
You said that wasn't an overpay because of the market. Those are your
Exactly.
exact words.
Exactly.
Okay, but you just said that.
Dylan,
it
you're
was an overpay
on
now.
record of saying the contract decreases
contract sucks.
from year 1, year 2, and it looks more favorable on the back end. So don't
Yeah, on the
backtrack
back
that
end,
shit.
but that doesn't. When did I backtrack it? I never
come on.
said that. It's still a poor contract for a team that doesn't need him.
The last
Simple.
2 years remaining. Okay. So but you got to specify that. Don't just simply bash the contract. Oh, that was
You
an
already
overpay.
knew my take. You already knew my take. So
on,
why do I have
bro.
to reiterate it?
Come
You just
on,
said that
come
I was
on,
going to
come
change
on.
up when I didn't change up. So
What?
I said you just said that I was going to change up on the way that I felt about the contract when I said it was front loaded and that on the back end it was better. Never said that. I said that it's back that the back end of it is not horrible.
Is
Those are my exact
favorable.
words. Never switched up on that.
Okay.
What is
and
so
what I'm
your
saying
words
is the
are what you're
market
saying.
dictates it. So now, not only was it just the market at the time, but now the back 2 years are much more favorable.
You
And
keep
he
floating around the
as
idea
Gary
of
said,
market
he is a good
overpay, market
shooter. I mean,
overpay,
this is a
and
shooting
we've still
league.
come to the same conclusion. We've come to the same conclusion every single time. You blame market, yet you just said it was an overpay. That's it. It's an
A
overpay.
slight overpay. But the market
overpay
is
is an
the market is.
An
The
overpay
market
is an
is
overpay.
the market is what the market is, brother.
But
That's
It
what it
doesn't
is.
matter. It doesn't matter. He's not
And then
talented enough to get that
and then
contract.
to segue it, the trade market is what the trade market is. Look at DeAndre Hunter. I mean, you're arguing
Mark,
DeAndre Hunter is a better.
Let me step in. And he made no sense here. If you have all the pieces, if you have Giannis, Cam Johnson makes sense. If you have Zion, he makes sense. When you have no one who can create their own offense, no one who can create their own shot, and no one who can create offense for others, he makes no sense to bring him here. It doesn't fit in what we have.
Gary, does it make sense to let a valuable
Yes,
piece,
it does,
whether
because
you
then you
agree
save
with it or
$23
not,
million.
walk out the door
Yes.
for no assets in return
Yes, because you save $23
when
million
you have
earlier.
no pick?
Doesn't matter. You could have went out. You could have went out and given that contract to DeAndre Hunter. You could have went out and given that contract to DeAndre Hunter, who's younger and better than Cam Johnson. Yes, you could have. You could have saved money, so this way you had more cap space for this season, but you didn't. Once again, a market does not
You
dictate
do have
whether
more
or not
cap
the GM
space
needs
because
to
Cam
offer the contract.
Johnson's salary the next 2
GM
years
offers the
is
contract
less
because
than
he
what
wants
DeAndre Hunter's is the next 2
Mark,
years.
we got 31 draft picks without Johnson being involved. So what are you talking about? That
That's
we couldn't let
after
him
the
walk for
fact,
nothing.
John. At the time
We
when he
still let
put
him
the
walk for
ink
nothing
on
at
the
that
paper,
point.
it wasn't the case.
Mark, you have to admit, Sean Mark screwed up Bridges and Johnson when he got here. He probably should have just traded him as soon as possible. Instead, he kept one and let the other go fast. You should have traded Johnson at the same
But
time.
look, what he did was he said, "Let's see how this plays out." We made
And it
it
played
to
out horribly.
listen. We
And
made
it
it to the
played out
playoffs. The first
horribly.
listen, because
Do you have dinners with Sean Marks weekly? Does he pay for them? Because I've never
I'll
seen
be
somebody
honest with
suck
you.
off another human more.
I'll
in
be
my life.
honest
It's
with you.
crazy.
I don't give a fuck if Sean Marks is the
I got
GM or
hungry
not.
with you guys
I really don't care.
So
What
then,
I'm saying
what's
is,
the argument? What's the debate?
what I'm
This is
saying is,
ridiculous.
don't bash every
Yum.
move just to bash every move.
Haven't bashed. I haven't bashed every
That's
move.
what
Haven't
seems
bashed
to
every move.
be the
I've bashed 8
common
out of every 10
theme.
of his moves. I've bashed 8 out of every 10 of his moves because 8 out of every 10 of his moves
Okay.
sucked.
Come on, bro.
Simple as that.
I'm bringing up just the market, whether it be the free agency market for a wing or the
Doesn't matter.
trade
At the end of the
market.
day, the
Mark,
contract
when
is
he
given
traded
by the
Bridges,
GM.
None of us knocked that. You know why? Because it was a good trade.
Yep.
Okay. Every
Even
other
though I
move
still
he
would have
makes,
preferred to give it to
because they
Houston.
kind of suck. Like, I'm not bashing Marks for the sake of bashing Marks. It's just that coincidentally, one guy keeps making horrible moves. Like,
He makes
so
2
I'm
good
gonna keep
moves, takes
bashing him.
8 steps back every single time.
All right, if you see it that way, I mean,
Lou,
What other way is there to see it?
I want to address this, Lou. Let me address Lou real quick. This podcast is always Nets bashing. Okay. So 3 years ago, we had the most talented team in the NBA.
Yep.
This year, we have the worst, one of the 2 least talented teams in the NBA. We didn't win anything in the interim. Yeah. So
Nor did we ask for it.
right. So this has been bashing because it's based on unprecedented losing. Like, it's just losing on top of losing on top of losing.
Yep.
We lose when we're good. We don't lose enough when we're bad. Like, that's what, like, it's not bashing. It's just calling out what it is.
No, because
Right,
the
like, if
problem
someone
is people
keeps
think that you're
wrecking
not a
their
real fan
car,
unless
you
if
would
you're
say, "Stop
sucking off
driving,
every
you're a
single
bad
thing that they
driver."
do.
no, fuck it. I mean, listen, I called out Mark's mistakes though. So where does this narrative go that I'm eating dinner with Sean Marks?
Gary,
Fuck it.
show him the list.
You come on
Show him
here
the
every
list,
single time
Gary.
defending every single move that he makes.
I said, yo, he should have fired Steve Nash after the Celtics swept us. Absolutely. Nash lost the locker room. He didn't then.
Okay, so how many times are you going to get pushed over by the same guy? Like, realistically, how many bad decisions does somebody need to make before they are fired? You just said that you think he should be fired, but then you come on here every single time.
Okay, no,
defending
but
him.
listen to what I'm saying. The
Make up your
time to
mind.
have done so was last year. You let the man
time
pick
is
his
right now
coach
before he makes the
and
pick.
blow the team up and accumulate all these draft picks. Now what are
can
you
pick your
doing? You're
coach.
gonna
It
fire
doesn't
him a
matter
year
until you
later?
pick the
What
pick.
sense does
Yes.
that make? Why didn't you
Yes,
fire me
because you
last
bring
year?
in a guy,
Makes no
yes, because
sense.
you bring in a guy who actually knows how to do good contracts. You bring in a guy who actually knows how to draft.
That
well.
makes no sense.
Mark,
That
you
makes no
see that
sense.
list, Mark? Look at that list right there, Mark. Tell me what Sean Marks has done that's been good and
There's
sustainable.
maybe
Tell
been
me.
3 positives.
Let's
compared
run
to
through
those
the list.
17
Want to run through the
negatives.
list? We could do it check by check.
Let's run through the list real quick.
Oh
and
my
then
God,
I
we have to
gotta
hear
go. I
every
gotta end
excuse
this.
for these.
No, it's not. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. It's
It's
context.
yeah.
Mark,
It's
Nope,
context.
gotta be an excuse.
let me run through the list with Mark. And you just tell me good
Oh,
move,
bro.
bad move. Firing Kenny Atkinson at the request of Kyrie. Good move, bad move.
Star point guard just signed a 4-year deal. Wants the head coach gone. Okay,
Good move, bad move.
who are you siding with? Who are you siding with? Because the same way you're saying
Okay, good move,
Kyrie-
bad move.
Kyrie
move,
was
bad
under
move.
contract. You don't have to fire a coach if you don't want to. He got bitched. Simple as that. Move on.
No.
Hang
Yeah.
on,
Yeah, but
okay,
Kyrie's a bitch
I'm
too.
gonna end this today.
If Mark is a bitch, I want.
Okay.
When have I ever
so,
said that Kyrie isn't a bitch?
LeBron James tried to get Spoelstra fired. Do you know what Pat Riley told him? Never come
Fuck
into
off.
my office and tell me who to fire.
Thank you.
Okay, hiring Steve Nash. Good decision, bad decision.
It was a bad decision.
Okay, so that's 2.
0 for 2.
Not
Move on.
Not trading Dinwiddie at the 2021 deadline, and instead getting
The year
a
that we
second-
could have gotten Kyle Kuzma for him, and instead we
He
waited
had
till the
a
offseason
torn
and got second.
ACL, was an expiring contract. What more were you getting?
Offer was offered.
What more
Offer
were you
was
getting?
offered.
The
They
offer
offered
was
Kyle
made.
A
Kuzma.
lot more? A
They
lot
offered
more?
Kyle
What's a
Kuzma.
lot? What's a lot?
They
Tell me
offered
what's a lot.
Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle
They offered
Kuzma.
Kyle
Kyle
Kuzma.
Come on. Let's not play in fucking
Okay.
pretend world. Go ahead. Next. Not giving Jeff Green.
That was
Not
already
giving-
reported. Good
not
job.
giving
Okay,
Jeff-
that's bullshit, but all right, whatever.
Go
Reported
find
Not
the
bully
giving
right
shit.
now.
Jeff
All right.
Green
Not giving
Not-
Jeff Green an offer in 21.
offseason.
They brought in Patty Mills for the mid-level, and Jeff Green got
Was
that
that
contract
good or
from
bad?
Denver.
Who's more valuable as a winning piece, Patty Mills or Jeff Green?
Jeff Green, yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bad
Next,
move.
0 for 4.
Bad
It's marginal, but
Bad-
okay, we're going on
It's not
margin. All right.
marginal. 6'8",
Banning Kyrie
forward
from
versus
road-
6
Go ahead,
foot
go ahead,
point
go
guard.
ahead. Banning
Banning
Kyrie.
Kyrie from road games.
Bro, if you
Yep,
wanna,
next, 0 for 5.
if you wanna blame Marks took the shot, bro. All right. So fuck all
Yeah, I
that.
know,
Kyrie
he's a
broke
fucking
team.
victim.
Kyrie
I know.
broke team.
He's a victim.
Kyrie
I know.
broke team.
He's
I don't want to
moving
hear
on.
that,
Stop,
bro.
stop, stop.
Kyrie broke
Kyrie
team.
for that. No,
Kyrie broke team. Yeah. Okay. Next, Kyrie broke team. Traded James Harden.
Okay,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
was
He
a
should.
move.
Marks is a victim. I know.
Banning Kyrie from road games was a good move. That was a good move, Mark.
Kyrie not getting the shot was the worst move. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Let's go. All right.
Every
Traded
single
James
person has
Harden for
right.
Ben
My body,
Simmons.
my choice, right?
Terrible deal. Yeah. That was a terrible deal.
Patty Mills.
All right, 0 for 6.
Well, we'll just make this 2 for 1. He gave Patty Mills Bruce Brown's money. Is that a good move or a bad move?
In hindsight, it was a bad move because
Okay.
he had just traded for Ben Simmons
That's
to play
fine,
that
that's
role.
fine.
Go ahead. Keep going. Let's go.
Didn't
Didn't
fire
fire
Nash, only to fire him 10
I
games
said that
later.
one already. That was bad. Yes.
All right, so we're 0 for 7.
Traded Kyrie to Dallas out of spite. Good move or bad move?
You think that's what was out of spite?
Yes.
You got DFS and Spencer Dinwiddie. Yes, I think it was out of spite. Not trading DFS for 2 1s.
You really think he was worth 2 1s? Come on.
It was
Josh
already
Hart.
confirmed
No,
that Memphis
fuck all of
offered
that. No,
Yep.
Dylan, don't even chime in.
Go on Twitter.
Josh
It's not
Hart went
fucking
for
hard.
1 first round
It's not
pick.
hard. Don't
Same
come on here
trade
telling
deadline.
somebody else
Josh
who's right and
Hart
who's
went
wrong.
for 1
It
first
was
round
already
pick. Same
reported.
trade
It was already
deadline.
reported Memphis
He
offered
went
2
for
protected
1
first-round
first.
picks.
That's
Go
the
look it
trade
up.
market.
Not
If
hard.
you think Dorian
Not
Finney-Smith
hard.
is
Do research.
twice the
All right,
value
all right,
of
guys,
Josh
Do a lot
Hart,
of research.
come on.
I gotta wrap this. I gotta go. I do
right.
gotta run. I gotta wrap this.
Fuck
We'll
it.
pick
Peace
this
out.
up
Peace
another
out.
time.
It's all good.
Like, why the defending of him? Like, the answer to
It
these
doesn't
are
make sense.
obviously no. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I'm a Nets basher because I'm noticing a trend here that this guy makes
In
bad
poor
moves one
decision
after
making.
another.
You know what I figured out, Gary? Mark has no answers, and I'm having a very good sandwich right now. That's what I figured out from that great
Hell yeah.
discussion that I was listening to. And thank you, Cypher. Let's give a shout out to Cypher. Thank you for the Sean Marks list. We'll definitely use in the
Thank you,
future.
Cypher.
Anybody who disagrees with us. And if you want us to play a video, man, we'll definitely do that. So subscribe to his page, subscribe to our page, because we are killing it on the Brooklyn content right now. Woo!
All right. Appreciate you guys. I gotta wrap this up. Dylan, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, actually, tomorrow, once the whole Texas Xavier game is finalized, I am going to go live tomorrow on my Nets Press podcast page, where I'm going to be doing a live bracket breakdown, some sports betting things, maybe some draft analysis as well. So feel free to go shoot over and subscribe to us over there. I'll be live tomorrow night, probably around 8 at night, maybe a little earlier. I'll put out an official time later. But make sure to follow me on Instagram at NetsPress. Also follow my college basketball page at CBBDraftU. And appreciate you guys for having me on as always. Until next time.
And Mark, thanks for hopping on. We do appreciate. I disagree with everything you say about Sean Marks, but I do appreciate you coming on and stepping right into the lion's den and punching the lion in the face. I do. I appreciate that. All right, y'all.
Let's learn how to have better debates, though.
Yeah, March 19th, 2025, from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.
Peace.